What's good? What's good? What's good, man? Such a beautiful day. Such a beautiful day. Welcome to 063 Tactical Tuesday. It's your boy Lazarus Zander, of course. Gonna tune in here in just a moment. Just wanted to welcome everybody in. This is the second official live that I have going. So thank you to any and everyone. Once again, this is 063 Tactical Tuesday. This is our live. We're about to go ahead and get started. Woo! Yeah, sir. How y'all doing, man? It's your boy, Lazarus Zander. How y'all living today, man? I'm hopeful that you were able to see a bit of the description before you were able to actually click on the live. Maybe get a glimpse of what we're going to be going into today. This is the beginning. So welcome to all. Of course, when you're coming into the room, make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment to let me know that you are here. And we're going to go ahead and get into some of our topics today. Because ultimately, I know with these lives that I'm going to be having here, it's ultimately some things that everyone is kind of familiar with. We're kind of used to hearing about. But of course, we have very different opinions overall with everyone that we got going on. And I want to definitely speak, my portion for the most part. So today is a very interesting live because it's not one that we're going to actively be talking strictly tactical today. Today is kind of a little bit more laid back in the sense of 063 Tactical Tuesday. It is a very much so a tactical Tuesday. It's always going to be a 063 Tactical Tuesday. We're always going to talk about some of the tactical things on the channel. Excuse me here. We're always going to talk about some tactical things on the channel, but this is not the purpose of today's live. Today's live is not the purpose to solely be on tactical. There will be a portion of it, but for the most part, I just want to kind of kick back and talk about some things that I actually enjoy as a person, as an artist, as a business owner, however you want to label me, whatever bracket or title you want to put me in, wherever. I want to talk about the more personal side of me, Lazarus Zander, and what I enjoy on that aspect. And that topic to start off today's live will be music. The reason, truthfully, that I am going with music to kind of start off is because music is a very big part of human nature, life in general, but also just a big part of my life. I know coming up that I definitely was raised around a multicultural set of music. I didn't necessarily have one kind of artist that I listened to. I was never kind of how can you put it? I never necessarily got boxed into a category in which musically I had to feel as if I could only listen to a certain type of artist or genre or however you would like to label it. I've always been very what's the diverse. I would say I've been very diverse in my palette with music. I don't like to stay in one lane. I truly do enjoy a wide range of music. Like I'm talking from pop to rock to rap to R&B. I love jazz. I am definitely a big classical listener. So even now, something that you guys will tend to hear on my lives when you're actually watching is I have classical playing in the background. Excuse me. I have classical usually playing in the background, excuse me, because it is one of those things musically that soothes my mind and it soothes my energy. My apologies also, just kind of throwing it out there to hopping on the live a little bit on the delay. I apologize. I did say 5:30, of course, so I do apologize for hopping on a little bit on the delay, but we're going to go ahead and just get back on top of it, get back on topic, and get back on timing. Like I said, with the music, we're definitely going to look into some of, I guess you could say, my favorite artists, but also just some very controversial artists in general. And this is when I say artists, I mean musically. We're not speaking on any other spectrum. We know we got our painters, our artists. We know we have our other, movie, our actors. We got those guys, our artists. We have many different art forms in this world, and the art form in which I'm going to be taking the focus on today, to kind of begin this live, will be music. So, like I said, coming in, just make sure you are like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you're dropping a comment. Show me you're here today. And shout out to you if you are joining in on 063 Tactical Tuesday. You are appreciated. Mashallah. We will look forward to seeing you back here actively every time. Going into, like I said, classical is something that if you actually watch my lives, you'll hear in the background. And classical, I feel, is very much so a musical genre that if you are not necessarily very keen to listening to a symphony, a artistically built composition, if you're not used to hearing different elements, different chords, different strings in different places, and when they're all combined and mashed together, the beautiful sound that is made from a symphony and orchestra, if you're not actively searching out these things, if you don't enjoy the opera, show Shakespearean kind of mindset, then you more than likely you won't enjoy classical as much. But I have it playing because classical is one of those genres of music that is appropriate to play in a lot of different settings. Classical, you can play classical in a meetup, with colleagues. And it's not something that will offend anyone. It's kind of like it gives kind of a more assertive feel. You feel more appreciated walking into a space. I truly do know that I feel a little bit of a difference when I walk into a space and it's playing classical, as to I walk into a space and it's playing hardcore rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a different feeling, a different level in which you get um off of that music. And with classical, I truly do think that you have to have a very pristine ear, a very keen listening ear, to actually sit back and not just listen to classical, but as I truly do with music, feel classical. You're not supposed to just listen to music. With music, it truly, you're supposed to feel music. Bob Marley, very big inspiration to me. Just kind of switching over, just shouting out somebody real quick. Just Bob Marley, a very famous quote from that man, to this day. And a lot of people truly do understand it. One thing about music is that when it hits, you feel no pain. And not in a mental or emotional state, but in a physical format. You're not actually feeling pain from the music. And that is one of the most beautiful things that music allows us to express. It allows us to communicate, and it allows us to also look into different avenues, different cultures, different ventures, because musically you can learn a lot through music. People sometimes I feel as if I know I was one of those kids that truly you might not be able to memorize that book, as our mothers like to say, but you can memorize that rap. And I think truly the psychologicalness about it is, especially with us, my people, we kind of look at it as it's kind of inherently in our psyche. It's in our nature to be rhythmic, to be very explosive when it comes to hearing bangs or drums or certain sounds that electrify us, that we understand more than a composition of words. And that is what music truly, I believe, does for people, is it allows people to speak, but you're not necessarily having to speak. With classical, you're not necessarily hearing lyrics as I am speaking on, but you can feel that music. When I listen to classical, I feel what that artist in the and when we speak classical, we're talking about a form of music that has age to it. It's kind of like classical and fine wine really do go together, because it's music that ages so well. And it's music that, back at that time, it was next level to be an artist, to be someone of the people that could produce such beauty. you had a service that you could provide to the kingdom, however you want to, however far back in history you'd like to go. You know, but you had someone that truly had a talent or service that was able to be provided to the king, queen, say, the hierarchy, and people were truly able to appreciate the beauty that was put behind that art form, the energy in which those people would expel to make such beautiful sounds. And then, as I did say, with an orchestra, a symphony, to have so many different instruments, so many different sounds, and when you combine them all together, they make such a beautiful overall, like an orchestra. It's so beautifully orchestrated that you're producing not necessarily songs, but you're producing masterpieces. You're producing literal tracks that, in this day and age we call them tracks, but you're producing literal tracks that if you're not actively listening, you won't actually hear the song change in music, in classical, excuse me. You won't actually hear that the song has changed, or the portion of this symphony, the portion of this song has changed. You won't actually catch it if you're not listening deeply. So that's why just even now classical is such a important, and I feel truly a very deep music genre for a lot of people on this planet. It allows us to speak without saying words, classical specifically, because that is all truly a talent of chords, strings, and putting together, brass and woodwinds. It takes a lot. So classical, I have a lot of respect for, and I love very much so. Definitely one of my favorite music genres of all time. I can put on classical and be okay. Like anywhere, anytime, I can put on classical and be okay. But that's also, it takes, like I said, it takes a certain ear to actually sit back and enjoy classical. Another one of my favorite categories, I definitely would say you don't hear it very often anymore. It's definitely one of the older sounds. Me being a younger guy, it's very important for me to not necessarily as we'd say in Ebonics, in this day and age. Excuse me, I believe I just had my sword fall. Excuse me there. Um, but literally, what we would call Ebonics in this day and age, um, the slang term, I truly believe we don't have enough funk. Funk is a very beautiful genre of music that, for me, growing up as a young man, I didn't hear it coming up in, too much. I'll say it's making a slight comeback, but you didn't hear too much of it unless you're around, your elders, things like that. Like my grandmother, my father, um, even my mother, would play older tracks, and I think I grabbed an early keen appreciation for funk early on due to artists like James Brown. Um, and that man especially, I could speak on James Brown specifically, just due to the legacy that he has left on music. Because when you think of funk, you think of truly the beauty of my people. And when I say the beauty, I really mean the true struggle that might have been had, but the successful um side of having this skin and being able to really produce such a sound that you're getting any and everybody off of their feet. You know what I'm saying? Truly shout out and rest in peace to the king, truly, James Brown. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think we would dance, we would move, we would do a lot of things in this day and age musically had it not been for the funk category. Something such as, Earth, Wind, and Fire, a group very much so back in those times. Um, you had to have a lot more trust in one another, and a lot more faith, and truly, that is what I think the beauty, that is why that was such a golden age of music, is because it truly took authenticity. It wasn't something that we could sit there and, you know, it's not to kind of say it like that, but Lazarus Zander also, makes music. I've been a rapper for quite some time here, but here's my little soundboard and whatnot. Just kind of show that off. But even kind of show you guys multicultural. You gotta be having multiple things that you're able to do. You can't be limited. And I truly feel that funk was a category of music where they would not let you limit them. Those artists in the funk category, you were unable to, at that time, you were unable to box them in a box. You were not able to really limit what they could and could not do musically. They If they wanted to, make a club, track, they can make a club track. But also, if they wanted to make a love track and, show, the loving side of love and really, what it takes to be a gentleman, court a woman, things of that nature, that was a golden age of music. And I truly feel that my elders and the older generation still relate to that genre of music so hard because of the camaraderie, the love that was felt behind that music. It wasn't just music that was made on the pure basis of, all right, we're going to get something produced and we're going to get it out, we're just going to release it. Because when it came to actual production, you had to have talent, you had to actually have the skill to hop on the mic. So just like I said, big shout out to funk. It is very much so a big part of my life. Very much so a big part of my music. And even what I do musically. I love funk. I think the art form musically, and I said I'm a rapper, but I really do, I like to consider myself a lyricist. I don't like to call myself a rapper. I really pride myself on wordplay and storytelling. Um and it's an art form. It takes a certain individual to really be able to put a set of words together and formulate a story out of it, that is really catchy and able to get you moving and get you grooving. And you're sitting there like, man, okay, well, I'm bouncing to the beat and I'm feeling the production over it. But even still, even now, with that being said, I'm actually listening to what this person is saying because it's quite interesting, the lyricism behind this artist. And that is what, like I said, I don't sit here and brag about it. I'm not sitting here going in, not bragging about it, but I do enjoy music. I enjoy the true production, the true beauty, the true art behind music production. And it takes a certain kind of artist, it takes a certain kind of person to actively be in music. So, like I said, with the funk, that's definitely a high, big inspiration for me. And will forever be appreciative to that genre of music because we would not be where we are in music without those guys. Um, Another one that I truly do enjoy musically, I would have to be off top, off rip, of course. I don't know if I can put these two in the same category because technically they really could be separate, but hip hop and rap, of course, I'm a big connoisseur. I'm not even gonna say fan, I'm a big connoisseur of hip hop and rap. Um, not to I'll get into the R&B, but um hip hop and rap are very big parts of my life, especially growing up as a kid on the south side of Chicago. Um, I think you truly do learn to appreciate hip hop and rap for the true artistry in it. Artists such as, shout out to the hometown, shout out to the Shot Town Savage himself, Twista. Someone such as Twista. I was listening to Twista at a very young age. Artists like Crucial Conflict, Do or Die, these are Chi Town artists. Chi Town, very much so that grew up in me. I kind of grew up with these mentalities, having these individuals be my elders and be the men that I kind of looked up to and really followed behind musically when it came to being different. And I've always felt that truly my city, Chicago, has always provided such an eclectic sound, a different sound. Shout out to Kanye West, definitely the big guy for sure. When it comes to Chicago, and it's just the pride of the city. Like I said, the South Side of Chicago, it teaches us truly the beauty behind hip hop and rap, and artists such as Common. I grew up on listening to Common too. Um, these are men that their mentality was different from the status quo, and I think truly that is why I've tuned in to a lot of my hometown artists, but also, of course, I branch out. I listen to everyone else as well. Listen to a lot of artists from the West Coast. I will shout out the West Coast, of course, but shout out to New York as well. New York is a very heavy influence on me, and I love New York as well. Miami, not even Miami, but Florida as well. Great energy musically. Hip hop, and of course, when I'm speaking on these areas, I'm talking hip hop wise. You got Texas, of course. I'm down here in the big Texas. Can't not shout out Texas because those H-Town boys are gonna forever, man. Shout out to DJ, Screw, man. Like, that's going to forever be a sound that could not be, you could never reinvent that. You know what I'm saying? You can reproduce it, you can recopy it all, but you could never reinvent it. You're not ever going to be the originator. So just shout out to a lot of the, like I said, Philadelphia, those guys, my guys out in Philly, man. Those guys definitely, Freeway, big name for me. I love Freeway. I listen to Freeway very heavy. Some guys like Most Def. I listen to the Black Star. Yasin Bey is what he goes by, of course, but Most Def, Talib Kweli, those kind of gentlemen. These are the type of people that I came up learning to enjoy and love. Busta Rhymes. I'm dropping names hip hop and rap wise because just to kind of give you guys a spectrum of artists that truly that I listen to, that I enjoy, that I truly do appreciate in this game. Artists like DJ Quick, Sugar Free. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a lot of different sounds coming out of a lot of different places, a lot of different places, and I appreciate them all because music, as I did say before, is an expression of us, especially hip hop and rap. It is an expression of my people, and it truly is a beautiful expression. And it may not be the most glorified category of music, but I can say it is the most copied. It is the most, stolen from and repurposed. I'll say it like that. Genre, most definitely. So even then, we have alternative that I love. I love alternative. I can listen to some Coldplay. I can listen to some Green Day. I can listen to, let's see, what's another one? Adam Levine. I can listen to a wide, like I say, a range of artists, and I love them all because this is not just a category that is limiting you. You shouldn't be limited when it comes to music, and that is what I truly do feel. If you are an artist such as I am, you truly do enjoy the platform of artistry, not just being in music, but showing off your artistry. So when we have music, even now, more or less, you have music, but you have the music videos to add to that music. And that's what makes I truly do feel the music category so dominant, is because you're taking now, and you'll see it now in this day and age where it's a whole new wave of like artists, musical artists that are now becoming actors. Like, you're going into music, and then you're using that avenue to jump you into the actual platform of wanting to see yourself on that big screen one day. Because a lot of us, we psychologically, we sit here and watch a lot of these actors, actresses, and we're like, hey, we could do that one day. That's why Lazarus Xander, I sit here and I preach my, I'm an actor, and I very much so I pride myself on that. And not in the sense that I'm not genuine, I'm not realistic, I'm not authentic with people, but in the sense that I enjoy my craft. I enjoy the true artistry behind the cinema and the film industry, in which it is. When you have a good story behind it, and this is what I'm saying with even music, when you're able to have a good story behind it, it turns into such a beautiful cinematic masterpiece. Some music videos you wouldn't even look at. Think of a video such as "Do You Remember the Time?" Michael Jackson. Think of that. Think of that music video. Think of even Thriller. I mean, so we could put that in another, but think of even that music video. That music video was so legendary. The song itself was a hit. Of course, Michael Jackson is always going to be that dude. I spoke on James Brown. I can talk on Prince, Michael Jackson. I can speak on those guys too. You know what I'm saying? But even now, just to kind of pinpoint it with music, that song was so legendary, but it was the videos, it was the production of videography, the cinematic masterpiece is what set that song. That music is what set it over the top, and is what has it till this day. I don't think anyone, I don't think anyone to this day does not know the Michael Jackson Thriller video or the Do you remember the time? You do not know those videos. You know exactly what those videos entail and the beauty behind them, the artistry that was put into it. It wasn't just something that could be produced in a day or two. No, this took sets. This took actors, actresses to come in, dance with learn his energy, learn how to communicate and interact with him. And that is the beautiful thing about music, is it allows you as an artist to platform yourself. If you're in control of your music and things of that nature, make sure you're getting your royalties, you're having everything. If you can be independent, I'm gonna always preach it. But do what you got to do as a musical artist. I'm not gonna knock you doing what you need to do as a musical artist, but just in general, when you see the actual production of music, what is it that people catch? What is the prime thing that is making virality, hit so heavily? It's these music videos that people are seeing of all these artists, and you're like, man, I'm watching this and I hear the music. It turns me up. And I like the music. I like what I'm hearing. But you're looking at these actual music videos, and yeah, you might be seeing the same generic, this or that, hip hop and rap, especially I could speak on. It might be a little bit generic. It might be a little bit the same over and over, but you'll watch to a degree, you'll see a different kind of music video. Like I'll point at another artist, The Baby. I love The Baby. That's my dude. I got mad respect for The Baby, because not only him as an artist, but him as an artist is truly what I enjoy. And his chemistry, to be able to get with a videographer and produce such artistry, is what makes him such a amazing artist. Not just rapper, not just, hip hop, no, he's an artist. What he does is produce art. And it's so beautiful to see. I mean, when I remember when I first saw Suge, of course, I've seen great music videos. We could talk about the greats as well. Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes, a lot of greats musically that have creative juices, creative artistry within their music, that truly, when you tune into these artists, you're not just receiving music, you're receiving art. You're going to feel the impact of what they are doing behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? And what their mentality is. They need to be out of the normal, out of the grasp of everyone else, basically. So just now with music, like I said, it's one of those things that I truly do enjoy, and can't wait to produce more in the future. I can't wait to showcase a little bit more of my musical ability, my sensibility to actually sit and write on a piece of paper. I don't care to. I think I'm a little bit old school in that way, artistry wise. I know it's a lot of striving artists out here. I'm not striving artist. I do music. I just enjoy music. I don't do it in the pure basis and sense that I'm trying to look for a record label, any of that. If you catch one of my songs, you're getting one of my songs because I enjoy you in that way. You know what I'm saying? We're cool to that degree to where you're actually able to hear my personal music. But it just comes down to it. Like I said, with music, it's such a broad category and spectrum, and it's so beautiful to be able to sit back, and when you truly do, you put those earbuds in. I think all of us have our favorite pair of earbuds, headphones, however you want to. But when you put those things in, man, and you're able to truly push that play button and go into a whole nother realm due to the production, the beauty of the voice, the beauty of the art behind this production in which you're listening to. So just going to kind of go ahead and end that there. Like I said, I could speak on music for hours on end. We definitely could have our debates. I definitely do. You know what? I might do that on another live. I might do that on my next live. I might do rivalries kind of musically. do some of my favorite rivalries, some of my favorite, because I did just watch an interview with Kanye. He made a very good point. It's a professional sport. Rap is not for everyone. Okay, please hear me. Rap is not for everyone. There are the major leagues. You do have the major leagues, and I like how he put that. Truly, as a Chicagoan as well, I understood everything that Ye was saying. I understood exactly verbatim everything that man was saying. I got exactly where he was coming from on everything, because the mentality, me and Ye share a very similar mentality. I will definitely say it in that format. I'm not gonna, hype myself up in that format, but just me and Ye, he's very much so one of my biggest role models, and I have a lot of respect and love for Ye. So just now, music will always and forever be a big part of my life, and I probably will be revisiting the topic on one of my lives, like I did say, because it is one of those things I could talk about forever, five ever, and quite frankly, don't mind talking about five ever. So just gonna kind of switch gears here. Take a little bit of time. Let me see here. I'm gonna get myself set up. Let's see here, because I do want to kind of go over this next segment here, which is in actuality. Let's see here. So we have an actual list that we're going to be going over. My apologies. We have an actual list that we're going to be going over. When it comes to the 063 collection, I'll put it in that format. It's a collection that I am looking to have, not necessarily the collector type of collection, but just in general. Your safe, your home defense, however you want to label it. We're going to kind of switch topics and switch back over into our two-way, because regardless of the day, regardless of the time, it's 063 Tactical Tuesday. Throw your 063s up, man, for sure. And make sure you go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to your boy Lazarus Xander, because this is 063 Tactical Tuesday live, baby. Can't get no better than that. Either way, excuse me. Either way, so we're going to go over the actual list that I kind of have set up of some firearms that I do look forward to having in the collection, having in the future. I will how do you say it? These firearms are very much so I don't think they're anything special. So don't fry me, don't crucify me, please. Don't get on me, man. Because my list could be completely different from your list, and I just want the same respect that I would show to your list to my list. At the end of the day, we all have different tastes, we all have different wants, needs, and we're all different individuals, and I respect that about everyone and anyone. So the firearms list that, like I said, is going to kind of be, it's not a actual like collector's list. This isn't a collector's list. This isn't like the old school firearms or anything like that. This is just kind of overall what I do want to actually see in a firearm collection, in the future. So let's see here. I'll actually start off with one of our smaller calibers that I'd love to kind of mess with. I'd love to have, of course, and it's not even just mess with. It's always a great caliber. I truly do feel to have within your stockpile, to have within your collection at some point. You should be trying to acquire this caliber, whether you actually plan on shooting it or not. That will be up to you. Whether you actually plan on obtaining a actual firearm of this caliber, that is up to you. But I truly do believe, as I always am a preacher of ammo and stocking up on it, making sure that you do the beautiful, beautiful caliber, you do stock up on some of that 22 long rifle. Man, oh man, the multiple uses of 22 long rifle alone allow for us to, how do I put it, be versatile in our field, which is 2A. Survival, anything of that nature, prepping, however you'd like to label it. But I truly do feel 22 allows for us to be on a plane in which 22 you could use defensively. 22 you could use for even small game. You're not destroying you know a rat, you're not destroying a rabbit, a duck, anything. You're not necessarily destroying these pieces of game when it comes to hunting, due through or due to a over powered caliber. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't use too big of a caliber on a certain animal. You might not actually have the game anymore. So, but 22 definitely great for small game hunting. For you on survival mentality, prepping wise, for you and your family, you want some quick eats. You know what I'm saying? 22 will be great for hunting because we all know we got rabbits, we all got squirrels. We all got some of that running around somewhere around us over here. Luckily enough, and I will speak that always. Luckily enough, the privilege of having that in the United States of America, I'm able to wake up and see squirrels running around outside domestically, not wildly, but domestically. I'm able to look out and see a rabbit or two running around the yard. And that is something that I find very cool and very satisfying about 22 is that, hey, things go down, things get tough. I can, look at these animals as a source of food. It doesn't necessarily have to be end all be all. But 22 as well, with the caliber, like I said, the usefulness of it on hunting and survival, of course. But just like I said, it's not your typical self-defense caliber, but I truly do believe 22 in the right hands can get the job done. You know what I'm saying? You're not defenseless. If you do have a 22 caliber, you do have some means of defending yourself. And regardless of who you are, I don't care how tough you are, how gangster you think you are. Um, Real talk, man. I don't think anyone is running towards a bullet. I don't think anyone is looking forward to stepping in front of a projectile. Um, you know what I'm saying? Not to discredit anyone on the mental aspect, not to disrespect that spectrum, but just I think you have to be a special breed of psychopathic to a degree, sociopathic to a degree, um, to enjoy running towards bullets. I think most people would try to find cover or get out the way of those bullets. So just speaking on it now, even now, everyone kind of preaches oh, 22 isn't, it ain't doing nothing. It ain't doing much of defensive. But hey, in the right hands, man, a quick double tap, you know what I'm saying? And we not doing, no center mass with no double taps, man. You know what I'm saying? We're doing quick double taps. You feel me? I'm sure you get the job. I'm sure you get the job done with 22. If you train and practice properly, if you do what you're supposed to do, if you do your due diligence and do what you're supposed to do actively with that 22, I'm more than sure and more than positive that 22 is more than reasonable for self-defense. It's definitely more than reasonable against someone that doesn't have a 22 caliber in their self-defense. So, with that being said, just wanted to speak on, like I said, the 22 caliber. Even now, with that, you can use it for barter. You can definitely use the 22 for barter, because 22 is so conveniently, not to say like it's very inexpensive. 22 is an inexpensive caliber. You can buy hundreds of thousands of rounds of 22 at a very, very reasonable cost. And like I said, it has very much so a wide variety, a wide array of uses. So just the first one off of that list, just for me to kind of speak on. Let me see here. Sorry, I got to written down my notes here. Excuse me. I see here on my first one. Okay, so cool. For the 063, let's see here. We have okay, I'm not sure if any of my guys or gals in the 2A community know of this one, but I actively was looking at a Keltec PLR 22. Those Keltecs are beautiful, beautiful works of art. I truly do feel. And with that one, it kind of, it's a very versatile weapon. So as I did say, with Keltec in general, it's a very beautiful manufacturer. I do enjoy Keltecs personally, and I do think that they have a great innovation of firearms. They are definitely being different than a lot of manufacturers. They definitely look different than a lot of manufacturers, and I appreciate that, because not only that, you don't hear too many bad or negatives about Keltec. So it's definitely a great thing, and that's one of the firearms on my list of 10. So you go ahead, put that as I guess, one, knock it off the list. So we got 9 more to go. But Keltec is definitely one. Keltec, the PLR 22. Of course, if any of you guys would like to check it out, go ahead and give it a look. Like I said, Keltec PLR 22, I do want to have in the 063 tactical collection at some form in format. So if anyone, manufacturer wise, got any FFLs out there that do have any available, let me know, because I am looking for one. So just another one that I am definitely looking forward to seeing in 22 as well, which is actually my favorite manufacturer of firearms, Beretta. I would love to see the U-22 Neos. That gun, that firearm is like, real talk. It's how do I explain that firearm? It very much so looks cool. I'm not very big on looks when it comes to firearms, not at all. But that one is definitely a very futuristic looking kind of firearm, and I do enjoy just being different. Just the difference in design. I do plan on becoming a gunsmith in the future, so you will see that with me. You guys do actively, if you follow me, if you're subscribed to me, you do see that on all of my profiles that I am actively on the path of becoming a gunsmith as well. So even now, to see the beautiful design behind that firearm, pristine, very clean, very nice. As I did say before, it is the Beretta U-22 Neos. Go ahead and check it out. It is one that is very beautiful. Like I said, 22, the 22 caliber in general, 22 long rifle is very versatile, very useful, and I have nothing but praise for the caliber, truthfully, because you can do a lot with it, or you can do a little with it, truly. So just kind of moving on. That's 2 out of my list of 10. So I got 8 more. Let's see here. Okay, I see. Let's see here. We have a 380 auto. I am a fan of 380s. I do enjoy 380. I feel it is a very much so a versatile caliber as well. Very much so usable in a self-defense situation, but also very concealable, and very much so a very good source of protection for quick, moments in having to kind of conceal but also protect. And that is what I kind of respect the 380 for, the 380 auto, more or less, for, because it combines both. You have a significant increase in power, as opposed to the 22 long rifle. You have a significant increase in power, but also you have a great form of concealment, because 380 typically isn't these firearms don't typically come in very big configurations. They're not very big in size. 380, I love the concealability about 380. 380 is very much so, like I said, you can use it for self-defense for sure, but also just in an aspect, 380 is also small enough to where you could, use it for small game, but also you could use it for regular game. It's big enough to do some damage. I'll put it like that. You know, it's not as powerful as a 50 BMG or anything like that, but it's definitely got some kick. It's a rocket, pocket rocket is what we call them at home, but it's definitely got some power, it's definitely got some kick, and I definitely do enjoy 380, probably one of my more favorite calibers, and I definitely do enjoy 380 a lot. So one of my favorites that I actually am excited to be adding to the collection for 380, let's see here. We got a, oh yes, of course. So this one just actually came out not too long ago. Kind of the update and whatnot. Ruger LCP Max. I would love to get my hands on one of those LCPs, but the newest model, the Max. Not only is the LCP, the LCP is just a beautiful platform in general. I do enjoy LCPs. But in general with Ruger, the capacity, I enjoy the increase on capacity, magazine capacity. 380 is very, like I said before, it's very concealable. But 380, it's one downfall that I will say is it's very much so lower capacity. Now, we're not knocking lower capacity, because guess what? If you're training properly, you shouldn't be missing. So realistically, we're not knocking lower capacity, but sometimes you need just you need an extra capacity. Sometimes you don't always keep an extra magazine on you. And with 380, you typically see single stacks. You're not seeing double digit 380s very often. You're seeing single stack, an 8 to 9 round, maybe 10, with one in the chamber. But capacity wise for 380, you got a lot less when it comes to that kind of situation in which you ever get into that situation. You got a lot less capacity. You got to know what you really are doing with 380. And there's nothing wrong with that. I prefer that any of my people that actually actively have 380, they are the ones that know what they're doing. They're not, you know what I'm saying? They're not playing, or that with 380, you know what you're doing. Okay. So, and not that you know everything, but to a degree, you have some control over your firearms. You know firearm safety. You know how to properly, use that firearm. And 380 is not a caliber that everyone can use. So, just pointing that out. But that's the LCP. Like I said, the Ruger LCP Max is 1 for the collection. So that's 3 I got. But then also, I truly do. I'm not a Glock guy. I got to keep saying it. I'm not a Glock guy, but I do enjoy that Glock 42, man. That G42 is a beauty. Very comfortable fit in the hands, I think, of most firearms. I think that's why the Glock platform does kind of reign supreme, is because it has such a easily configured platform. Once you learn one Glock, you've kind of learned majority of them. And not to say you know everything about Glock, but once you learn the basics of Glock, you pretty much understand the configurations going forth, and you understand what it is to fire Glocks, to clean them, to in general, because the platform usually is pretty familiar. So yes, that G42 is a popular one. That is a 380 auto as well. So that's 4 out of the collection. So far I have a Kel-Tec PLR 22, that's 22 caliber, a Beretta U22 Neos, that's 22 caliber. I got a Ruger LCP Max, that's 380 auto, and then I have a Glock G42, that's 380 auto as well. So just kind of the smaller calibers, more or less, the smaller ones, but they still do work. Okay. You having these is better than not having these. Okay. So, and here at 063 Tactical, we always want to preach firearm safety, firearm knowledge, getting the proper licenses and verification behind doing anything. Once again, as I always do, I shout out to the ATF, because those guys, we would not be able to be in this sport without those guys. So shout out to the ATF once again. Either way, going into that next caliber, we have the pretty, I guess you could say, this caliber has become practically familiar with everyone. I think it's kind of synonymous. I think it's kind of where most people actually kind of start out at now. But 9. This is definitely the most that I've seen purchase wise. I've seen a lot of 9, going around, a lot of 9 being used. 9 being the one that people get most familiar with for the first time. So just to speak on 9, one of the ones that I am actually excited to get my hands on is actually one of the newer manufacturers and producers, which is Shadow Systems. Their MR 920L, I would love to get my hands on. They're a bit more on the pricing side, but they have a, I guess you could say, Glock platform, but the barrel, the slide, the many mechanisms in the shadow systems that I see are so beautifully created. And yes, the yes, shadow systems, their firearms are very beautiful, and I'm definitely looking forward to adding one of their 9mm. Is like I said, the M. Excuse me, I have to make sure I'm getting this correctly. But the M, I want to make sure the M920L. Yeah, the MR, excuse me, the MR920L. Shadow Systems MR920L. I definitely look forward to getting one in the collection. That is 9mm, and it is a beautiful, beautiful firearm. You guys might want to go ahead and check that out. Another one that I definitely would love to have in the collection 9mm wise is actually, believe it or not, because I am a dude that enjoys the K's. Century Arms, man. Century Arms. Shout out to those guys, man. We always going to shout out Century Arms. Of course, that Draco Knack 9, man. I do enjoy a good firearm. And me personally, I love K's. I love the Russian platform and what it has to offer. Of course, they are a bit more. You have to do a little bit more research when it comes to the K's, but if you're willing to put in the actual research, with Kalashnikov, Zastava, those different kind of manufacturers, Palmetto, these different kind of manufacturers. If you're willing to put in the research, they become pretty familiar, and you kind of gain more of an understanding of these actual platforms. So as I did say, Century Arms, that Draco Knack 9, I definitely do look forward to having one in the collection. And for any of you guys, like I said, that are out there with FFLs, if you are hearing me, man, shoot me an email so I can get, get some things in the works so we can get these into my collection, man. So we can shout you guys out on the channel. Either way, those are my 9mm. So far I got 6. That's 6 off the list. Okay. The next caliber I would like to go to, I'd say, actually, I'm gonna do the big boys. Actually, I'm going to, well, not big, but 223 Remington and 5.56mm NATO. These are calibers that truly, I think defensively, overall, you're gonna do some work with. These are definitely your nice range days, your tactical training. You definitely gonna see a 5.56 223 on the 063 tactical channel. It's not anything that you guys will not expect. I'm sure you guys expect that with a lot of tactical channels. So, but just in general, kind of going back into it, I would like to see, yeah, I actually would like to see a Maxim Defense MXM PDX 5.5-inch barrel. Okay, so I get specific because I'm more of a guy that, and of course, I enjoy accuracy. I enjoy my long barrels. Don't get me wrong, but I enjoy power on my firearms. I like kick, and that 5.5-inch barrel is definitely a lot shorter than majority of rifle barrels. So even now, I guess you could say it's a PCC in a way. It kind of can be considered one. Or that size. I wouldn't say it's technically that firearm because it's not. It's not a PCC, but it's kind of around that size due to the fact that the barrel is 5.5. But that is why the specifications I have to be specific on. But Maxim Defense MXM PDX 5.5-inch barrel is one for the 223 5.56, and then I would also love. Oh man, I love IWI USA, the IWI Tavor X95. Man, I love Tavors. The Tavor is such a beautiful bullpup, such a beautiful platform of a weapon, and I enjoy IWI as a company. Definitely love that Galil Ace. So honorable mention. Just shout out to the Galil Ace. It's not on my actual list, but it's an honorable mention. Shout out to the Galil Ace. for sure. But as I did say, for the 223-556, I have the Maxim Defense MXM PDX 5.5-inch barrel, and then I have the IWI USA IWI Tavor X95. So those are my 223-556 that I definitely do look forward to. Cannot wait to have. Definitely am excited to have in the collection in the future. And then just to kind of end it out, I will go ahead and you know what? Yeah, to end it out, I'm going to give you guys the final caliber, which is 7.62 by 39 millimeter. That is one of my favorite calibers. A very effective caliber, and as I did say before, I appreciate and I enjoy the Russian platform of the AK. So that is definitely the caliber in which I guess you could say our Russians are the most familiar with is the 7.62 by 39, but it is also a very effective caliber and it does get the job done in my opinion. So ones that I want to see in the collection, which I definitely had. I had actual Century Arms in the collection earlier, but not for this caliber. So for this caliber, I'm gonna go with the Wyndham Weaponry SRC AR-15. So I love 7.62 by 39 millimeter, but I am actually curious about seeing it in the AR-15 platform. So just as cool as the K platform is, I love the K platform. I wouldn't mind having or seeing a weapon in my collection on a AR-15 platform that shoots 7.62 by 39 because AR-15s are very versatile, especially on the American side of things. They're very versatile. You have a lot of different combinations you can make when it comes to AR-15s and just builds in general. So shout out to my guys that are making a build currently, that are working on a build currently. Much respect to you, gentlemen, because the AR-15, it takes some time and it takes some due diligence. It takes some extreme patience to go ahead and put all of those pieces together and make your beautiful masterpiece, which is the AR-15. So another one that I would love to see, actually, I'm going to go ahead and put Century Arms on here, would be the VSKA triangle stock and Magpul grip. I love, like I said, the Russian K platform. So even now going to the classic of classics, you know what I'm saying? The VSKA, or excuse me, the VSKA, the triangle stock and the Magpul grip. Century Arms is the producer, like the manufacturer. You can't, Century Arms isn't necessarily the originator when it comes to AKs, things of that nature, but they definitely do have a beautiful platform, and they definitely do service a great portion of us when it comes to the Ks. And I know that we truly do enjoy Century Arms. So shout out to those guys once again, and just much respect to them. So I did say that was Century Arms VSK8 triangle stock and Magpul grip, and then that's Wyndham Weaponry SRC AR-15 for my 7.62 by 39 millimeter. So I think technically that is 10 off of the list right now. So let me make sure I go back over that. So the 22 calibers, the first two I got right here. Okay. We got Keltec PLR 22, and then we got Beretta U22 Neos. Okay. So that's two. I just want to make sure I'm counting back with you guys, because I'm like, I don't want to be talking so fast that I forgot that I actually might have missed one. So cool. That's 22. Cool. We have 380 auto. Okay. So for 380 auto, I have the Ruger LCP Max. That's 3. And then I have the Glock G42. That's 4 right there. So that's pretty cool. Okay. So we do got the 4. So that's the 380. So the first caliber was 22 long rifle. The second caliber was 380 auto. Okay. The third, let's see here. The third 9 millimeter. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. The third was 9 millimeter. Okay. And that first one was Shadow Systems MR920L 9mm. And then I have the Century Arms Draco NAC 9. Okay, so I got 22 long rifle, 380 auto, and then 9mm for the 6. Got 6 right here. Okay, then we switched over to our bigger boys, our fun boys. We have Maxim Defense MXM PDX 5.5-inch barrel. So that's 7. And then I also have the IWI USA IWI Tavor X95. That's 8. Cool. Nice. All right, cool. Just making sure I got them correct. And those are my 223 556. Once again, that's 223 Remington, 5.56mm NATO. Okay. And then our last two on the list should have been the Wyndham Weaponry SRC AR-15. Let's see here. And then the Century Arms VSKA Triangle Stock and Magpul Grip. That's 10. So that's my list right there. That's the list. I got 10 done. And that last one, as I did say before, that is 7.62 by 39mm. That is the caliber for my last two. So definitely make sure you check out some of those firearms on the list. If you guys are interested in any of those calibers, check out some of those firearms. See if, hey, me and you have any of the same tastes. if we have anything in common on that spectrum. So just to kind of finish out more or less the actual, let's see here, the point of the live, just to kind of finish out, I did want to speak on just some everyday kind of content. As I did say, we're going to be having commentary on this channel. It's not something that I'm going to see be disrespectful. I'm not going to do the most about commentary, but I will speak my 2 cents. I will let people know where my mentality is, where I am on the spectrum of learning about these news topics and things like that. And one of them that I'm currently seeing is the actual shortage here in America. And when I mean shortage, there are many different shortages that I truly do feel at this moment over here in the United States of America. We might actively be dealing with shortages in a multitude of different places, and we're not actively talking about it. We're not actively discussing it. So a lot of communities are not actually aware that these shortages are happening. And for me, I'm a very big, firm believer of staying prepared, being prepared for the worst, even if it does not come. But just to kind of speak on this topic, because it is very sensitive, we're dealing with shortages in a multitude of many different industries and places, from labor shortage to food shortage, to gas storage. And excuse me. As I did say, always for my brothers and sisters, we always do have prayer every day. We pray 5 times a day. And I make sure to express while I am on my live, I will be praying after my live. So please not get me. Alhamdulillah, truly. Allah Akbar. I wanted to make sure I said that as well. But just kind of coming back onto it, we are dealing with a multitude of shortages in a lot of different places. And if we do not actively acknowledge these things, we will continue to see the rapid decline of these industries that we are truly seeing kind of fall apart right now. Not necessarily fall apart, but they're not functioning as they were before. And I know us here in America, we kind of tend to be oblivious to what goes on outside of this country, what goes on outside of us. And for me, I truly do feel that we are going to get to a point over here in America where we have no choice but to pay attention to what's going on outside of this country, because it is starting to actually have an effect on the inside of this country. And one of the things that I guess you could say the effects of is even now, the labor shortage is very, very, very dominant right now. But when we say labor shortage, the shortage that I want to speak on is the very important shortage that us here in America, we understand the system, and we understand that it really does keep our country going, but the system in which is in place for it is not at the same strength and validity in which it was prior. And that is the trucking industry. I know I have a few truckers uh in my family, in my immediate circle, and I know they've definitely been expressing and sharing their content, on what's going on currently within that industry. And it's very important. It's very important that we definitely do take the time to adhere, tune in, and really take heed to what these gentlemen and these women, these young men and women are actively, explaining to us, due through to this. I just wanted to say, from 063 Tactical from Lazarus Xander, first and foremost, shout out to my truckers, man. Thank you to all that you guys do. Because without truckers, yeah, man, you can kiss America goodbye. um, Truly. But of course, it's a mutual thing. We actively, do what we're supposed to do here on our end, so they're able to do what they need to do on their end. And we appreciate those men and women that take that trip, that voyage throughout a third shift, and a lot of us don't even know about the third shift. You know what I'm saying? But go through that third shift getting supplies from point A to point B, or whatever. Trucking is a 24/7, a 24/7 operation. It's not something that ever stops. You might be asleep tonight, but it could be a young man or a young woman hopping in that truck getting ready to drop that load over into another state. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be home with their family for that night. They have to go ahead and provide for you and your family. And you got to be aware of these things. So when I'm speaking on the shortages, like I did say, we are dealing with a very, very bad shortage of supplies here in the United States of America, and we need to be wary of what is to come. Because even now, I've had the beauty of being in the state of Texas, which deals with the true mentality of freedom, the true mentality of being, yourself, being, an individual, and having the right people around, and you being able to make the choices that you want to make for yourself. And that is appreciated. So thank you, Texas. Shout out to Texas for sure. But just throwing that out once again, as I did say, even now we're having an extreme backup and shortage on the coastal lines of California right now with our import and exports. With that business kind of going on, we're seeing the effects of when goods are restricted, when goods are not delivered in time. We're starting to actually feel the effects and see that. We here in America, I feel we truly do have the privilege of looking over and be like, oh, they're a third world or whatever. We're all on the same planet. I don't like to sit here and say that's a third world country, or so, because we're all living on the same planet. And if we choose as human beings to help one another, I truly do feel we are much stronger together than fighting one another. And how you go about that is of your choice and of your nature. Because only the strongest survive. And that is truly what we are going to start seeing here progressively over the next 5 to 10 years. And I'm not talking about anything for now. It's, of course, we're feeling the effects now. We're dealing with the shortage. But this is things that will have an effect. What is going on in today's news, what is happening in today's news is tomorrow's history. And we seem to kind of not reflect on the past that has happened before us, seeing as to the fact that we're not supposed to dwell and sit and mope in the past, but instead we're supposed to take the past and learn from these lessons, so we're not constantly revisiting the same cycle. We're not constantly running in the same circle. And I feel we are at a space here in America that if we take the time, as I did say, to be stronger together, as opposed to apart, we could see a very, very, very drastic change within this world. But here in America, we are a melting pot. We have the beauty of having difference in opinion. We have that privilege here, and that is also what is causing us right now in this time to have these shortages have an effect on us, not nationally, to where everyone is actually feeling the effects, but nationally, to where these effects are actually affecting us nationally. And that is what you are now seeing with the actual shortage of truckers. Because like I said, even now, America's import-export game, it isn't the same. It isn't what it was in the past. And excuse me. There we go. That's better. Cool. It isn't what it was in the past. And for that to be, what it is the truckers that basically we're dealing with in this day and age. We have to lose the non-professionalism within the trucking industry. And the on excuse me, I'm sitting here reading something on the actual this is a actual, let me see, an actual report by the Business Insider. It says, like other workers across the U.S., truckers are quitting their jobs in search of better wages, benefits, and working conditions. And this is something to take serious, man. I'm starting to get a bit frustrated because I'm seeing that us in human nature, as much as even me, I own a business myself. We sit here and treat each other as if we are not all human. And this is starting to really present an issue because ego, attitude, and things of that nature is what caused the disruption in the ability to learn from one another. Instead of us understanding that, hey, just because this person isn't just because this person isn't on the same brain wave or same mentality, thinking the same way that I think, it does not mean that they're an enemy, they're a bad person, they shouldn't be around. And that is kind of what we're seeing is a lot of, you don't like what I like, okay, you gotta go. And that is not ever okay in human nature. Because we're all entitled to have a trial jury. It's very much so. It's so many things constitutionally that we're not seeing actively being enacted on here in the United States of America. Regardless of how you want to perceive this country, you have the privilege of being able to be here in this country. And don't ever take that for granted, because there are others outside of this country that do not get the same privilege, that do not have the same benefits, that don't have the same medical system, any of that in place. to have nearly as much of the ego, attitude, anger, animosity that we may have here in America towards anyone. So, with me speaking on that, like I said, it's come to a serious understanding that truckers, you know what I'm saying, are quitting in mass rallies because we're not treating each other as we should be treating each other. And that is an issue when you feel as if because you have a title of something, you now possess the right to talk or downplay something to someone else because it's not severe to you. And that is not okay. And that is what we're seeing with this trucker industry. And I'm speaking on it heavily because we need truckers. Okay. Let's not sit here and act as if no, man, this country does not operate. Majority of countries do not operate without those brave individuals that are willing to take a cargo load from one location to the next. And it's not even just trucking road-wise, because you got your people that are on the seas. You got your ships that are doing import exports, that are taking voyages from their families months on end. You know what I'm saying? And they're not able to see their family every night, but they're making sure that they provide this world, country, whoever, with the supplies, food, medicine, whatever. They're making sure to provide that supplies to them. And we don't take the time to acknowledge and appreciate just how much they don't have to do that. Because that is what's being shown, is they don't have to do that. And we, luckily enough, we live in a capitalist society in which we have an idea, we can go forth in pursuing it, possibly making a profit out of it. And that is what you should be privileged and feel grateful to be in a country as such, is that you have an idea, you can actively go out and put that idea out into the masses. You can actively go ahead and put that idea into action. It doesn't just have to be an idea, because there are a billion of failed ideas out here. And I genuinely will say that. Um, like I said, with the shortage here in this country, it is not a pleasant thing to think about, and it is not something that I feel a lot of people within the coming years in this country, a lot of Americans, maybe, I guess we could label us, but I don't want to label either. I don't want to label anyone. So any people, any individuals, any personnel, anyone in this country, I feel a lot of us are not aware of what is coming, what is soon to be happening. And even now, I kind of spoke on my last live. If you go check that out from last week, I kind of spoke a little bit about growing your food, planting your own garden, having something that you're able to learn to live off of the land. You're not necessarily in here just just listening to this live with the perception of, oh, it's just something for me to come and talk my mess. No. Anytime you come to my live, I want you to learn something. I want you to leave this with a more enlightened, a more heightened in mentality. Um, you are not the product of what made you. You can be more than. Yeah, you can choose to be less than, but you can also choose to be more than. So, just even now, like I said, the shortage that is inevitable within this country, it is already happening, is here, and it does not help by any means that our truckers are not feeling appreciated. Our truckers do not want to continue forth in trucking, because not only that, me growing up, especially as a young man from the Windy City, man, I think I have a lot of family with CDLs, and they're very adamant on the money, the revenue that can be made, the currency that could be made from trucking. But then I look at these same gentlemen and understand that these same gentlemen, regards of them making this revenue, this money, do they feel the appreciation after earning all of the, do they actually feel wanted? Do they actually understand that they are needed within this community, in this country? Do they actually feel that after a long voyage on the road? Or are they feeling as if, you know what, I did all this and it's in vain? It's a lot more that I could be doing with my time, rather than delivering some goods for people that don't actually appreciate anything that I do. Um, and that is why I say here at 063 Tactical, very much so big supporters of the trucking industry. We definitely always want to shout you guys out and say thank you, because without you, this country does not operate the same. This country more than likely will not operate the same without truckers. And that is something that I am hoping a lot of the citizens within this country start to realize, is that once you start treating people the way that I truly do. I don't get it how we're taught this from a young age, but we don't actually practice what is being preached. So if we treat people the way that we want to be treated, you get me, then there's no reason that our truckers, if they're treating us with such love and respect to provide us the supplies to live our lives without a skip in a beat, then we should be able to return that same action of love and respect to these truckers and make sure they understand just how much they are appreciated for what they do. Um, just trucker wise, I want to even shout out my uncle, man. Shout out to you, Unc. And I love you. Truly. Thank you for everything that you do for us here in the United States of America. Um, you are more than appreciated, Unc. And I don't think you get enough praise for being on that road. So thank you once again to my uncle for doing what you do, and a lot of my family members as well. I'm not going to go into my long list, but thank you to my CDL holders, to my men and women that are out here on these roads every night and every day, making sure that us here in the United States of America, we're able to not skip a beat in our supply, not skip a beat. We go to the grocery store, we're not having to actively think, where is this item? Where can I go find this item? No, you know it'll be restocked once the truck gets in. And that is why I appreciate you guys. So thank you once again for everything that you do. Once again, thank you, Unc. Alhamdulillah, and mashallah, inshallah, bismillah, Allah rahami, Allah rahani, alhamdulillah. It is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blessing to be here on this planet and in this realm. Thank you, Allah, for everything that you have allowed me to accomplish and achieve, and things that you have set forth in this lifetime for me to achieve, the mentality that you have allowed me to have. And I am ever so grateful. MashaAllah, Allah Akbar. A slight and minor prayer to you and yours. Be appreciative of the life that you have and the life that you live. Be grateful every day that you wake up, because that is a sign that Allah is watching you. He is having you here for a reason. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This has been an 063 Tactical Tuesday. I want you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you tune in this Friday. There will be a new video dropping on 063 Tactical. You will see a bit of some footage, get a bit of some rounds let off, and kind of go from there. Otherwise, I've had a great time, and I appreciate anyone that has joined this chat, that has talked to me, that has interacted. You are appreciated. MashaAllah, Allah Akbar, 063 Tactical. We're out.